there can be only one Chief Donut Maker. If I call your name, please step forward.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Speedy's Garage YouTube channel. I'm just getting back into town after going out and competing in the Dodge Chief Donut Maker contest or competition or whatever. Definitely glad to see Goldman go again. It's been about a week and I definitely missed this car. I thought I would shoot a little content on my experience, but while it's fresh on my mind, I just got back yesterday, I thought I'd go ahead and publish a little content on how it went because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions. Easiest way for me to do that was just shoot a quick video on it, and that way it answers most of the questions, and then if you have other questions for me, just leave them below and I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on it. So here we go.
I'm Artie Shaw Jr.
I'm Edgar Chavez.
What's up, everyone? My name is Corey Matthews.
I am the biggest Dodge fan.
Everybody calls me Speedy.
I'm Cody.
I'm Jamie Heath.
Third generation Mopar. There's my Uncle Hellcat.
I'm just here to become Dodge's Chief Donut Maker.
So to start, I want to tell you that I originally did not intend to even submit a application for Chief Donut Maker. I vaguely saw some advertisements about the contest, and I've got a full-time job that takes up a lot of my time, and I do the car stuff and YouTube for fun and want to make sure it always stays fun. And so I wasn't really thinking about it. I thought they'd probably want someone younger and more into social media or something like that. I do the YouTube thing, but other social media formats or platforms, I don't do a ton. I do a little bit on Instagram, definitely, very rarely on Facebook and stuff like that. So I figured they're going to want somebody who's really into the social media thing, and that's really just not me. But I started getting pinged by friends and getting some phone calls like, man, you ought to just submit a video. You already create videos anyway. Why not? And so I made one, and I thought, well, I'll stick it over on hellcatforum.org, which is an online forum I hang out on quite a bit with a bunch of other Hellcat enthusiasts, and have them take a look at it and see what they think. If they think it's good, then maybe I'll submit it. So I did. They looked at it. A lot of people liked it. So I decided to go ahead and submit it. So I did. A few weeks went by, and I had almost forgotten about it, to be honest. And I got an email late on a Friday. And it was from a marketing company. And it said, hey, we reviewed all of the Chief Donut Maker videos, and yours was chosen as being one of the top 10. We'd like to set a meeting to discuss details and see if you're interested in flying out to Arizona and actually competing for Chief Donut Maker. And of course, I go and look up the person it's from and look at LinkedIn and did some research on the marketing company itself, and everything looked legit, because at first I wasn't sure if it was a scam or not, and everything looked legit, so I said yes, give them a couple of time slots where we could get together and meet. And it was on a Monday. The meeting was set for a Monday, like 10 a.m., and it was a video conference call. And I had literally just come from a conference call for work, a video conference call for work, so I was kind of in my business dress, and immediately dial into this. And they were kind of sneaky about it. They're kind of like, hey, let's talk about flight information and just get to know you. And I thought, well, they want a video call to make sure that I am who submitted the video. Make sure they can actually see me and know it's me. We've had some issues where I work where we've had people call in and do phone interviews, and then the person that shows up isn't the same person. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. So even at work now, we have gone to video interviews. So no big deal. I call in, we do the thing. There are like 5 other people on the call, maybe 6. At least 2 from Dodge, 3 from the marketing company, and maybe 1 more. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, call in and they asked me a bunch of questions. And asked me why, I was interested in being Chief Donut Maker and all of that. They asked me what I thought about their electrification program, which, gets to be an interesting conversation because and I was really transparent. I'm more of a see it, smell it, hear it, feel it kind of guy when it comes to cars. And a V8 ticks all those boxes. I hope Dodge is successful with their electrification program. I really do, because I love Dodge and I love the brand. But I really love them because they've always gone after the muscle car enthusiast, which is me through and through. An electric car, I don't really look at that as a muscle car right now. Maybe when they come out with whatever it is they're building, it will change my mind. But I was honest about that. I said, hey, I'm torn, and I don't know how I feel about an electric car. I'm glad I got my Hellcat. That's all I'm going to say for now. They decided to continue and got me some flight information and flew me out to Arizona. Flew out on a Tuesday, and they were kind of specific about the clothing. They had a producer reach out, and he said, bring several different outfits, and you can't have logos or your favorite speed shop, no Nike, Reebok, whatever. You couldn't even have Mopar. You could have Dodge, but he said don't overdo it with the Dodge logos, but you can't have any logos showing, and definitely no green. And I said, okay. So, I packed up what I had, but honestly, I'm a hot rod guy. Almost all of my clothes have some kind of logo on them, so I did the best I could and packed up and flew out. Well, we went straight from the airport when they picked us up. They had a van come around, and I guess they tried to time it where they picked up 2 or 3 of us at a time because there's already a couple of other candidates on the van that picked me up. Super nice people. And we go straight to Radford Racing School. And that was where everything was going to be filmed. They had turned Radford Racing School, used to be Bondurant, into one giant set. And I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't what I saw when I got there. So they take us straight to Radford Racing School, and we go up to wardrobe, which was a new thing for me. They had us lay, these 2 stylists, who were really awesome, by the way, had us lay everything out on the floor, all of our clothes. And then they looked and they said, okay, put these 2 things together, this shirt and these pants, and this shirt and these pants, and this shirt and these pants. And they had us put the clothes on, the ones they had kind of put together for us, and they took pictures of us. And they said, we're going to send these over to our client, which obviously was Dodge. And Dodge was going to pick, or someone from Dodge was going to pick which outfit we actually wore for each day. There were 3 days of filming, and they were going to pick which outfit we wore. Kind of a unique experience. Never had anything like that before. And then once the 3 outfits were picked, which happened very quickly, they kept them. They kept those 3 in wardrobe. And when we would show up to get the clothes, talk about pristine. They had been pressed and ironed and steamed and lint rolled and everything. And so they were like perfect when we picked them up. And I was like, wow, that's kind of nice. But anyway, after we did all of that, we went over, had pizza, had a little fun go-kart race, had some instruction by a couple of the Radford Racing driving instructors. And then we had a full-on go-kart race, which was awesome. We first ran it clockwise and had a good time, and then we ran it counterclockwise. And the counterclockwise race got pretty interesting because now we had gotten some confidence with these go-karts. And me and Melissa, the younger lady that submitted for Chief Donut Maker, we started battling it out. And she would not let me pass. We'd go back and forth probably 5 or 6 or 7 times. I'm hoping you guys get to see some of that. There weren't any cameras around that I saw. There could have been maybe some hidden ones. But it was awesome and had a phenomenal time. We finally get to the hotel, and I was getting a little bit jet lagged. Even though it was only a 2-hour difference in time, it kind of screwed up my sleep cycle. So I really struggled with sleeping. I'd wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was no going back to sleep. So I went to bed about midnight and woke up at 3. And, stared at the ceiling for a little while. And then by 6 o'clock, we had to be downstairs at the vans to get picked up to be taken back over to Radford Racing. And we stayed at the Wild Horse Casino, which was only like a mile or less from Radford Racing. You could actually see the casino from the racing school. So it wasn't very far away at all. So the van would pick us up, take us over to Radford Racing. They put us in the green room, which was like 3 couches in the shape of a U, a couple of chairs. They had a table in the middle, like a coffee table, and it was a V8 engine block with pistons hanging out of it and a glass top, which was pretty cool. I had one of those in my living room, actually. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And it was crazy. Like, I felt like I was back in the Marine Corps. Hurry up and wait. We went upstairs to wardrobe, got changed into the clothes that had been picked out for us for the day, and then we would do little clips, like they would kind of film an interview with us, asking us how things were going, how we felt about everything, how we felt about the other contestants. And I want to say this up front. I was a little bit afraid it was going to turn into the Hunger Games and people would be cutthroat and after each other. It was not like that at all. And that's why I really love the car culture. We all got to be friends, all 10 of us. We're very supportive of each other, high-fiving when we came back from doing whatever it is we had to do. Some of the things we could actually see, like I could see some of the other contestants doing their personal interviews because the little set that they had set up was just right across the room. We had to be really quiet, but you could see them being interviewed and how they were doing in front of the camera and whatnot. So that was kind of cool, put a little bit of extra pressure on us, which, I kind of enjoyed, to be honest. And then we had to do what was called the interrogation. And that's where things really got interesting. I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of thought it would be a job interview. And they were going to maybe ask us some questions about Dodge history, how much horsepower some of the cars made, maybe what some of the current colors that were offered were, kind of test our knowledge of the brand. and then see how we were in front of the camera to see how comfortable we were with that, and which I wouldn't have trouble with either one of those. And then maybe a little bit of driving on the track to see kind of if we could handle a Hellcat or something like that. And I thought that was kind of what it was going to be. I had no clue, and maybe I was just naive, that it was going to turn into a full-on reality TV production, which is exactly what it was. They probably had, I'm going to guess, around 100 crew members, cameras everywhere, the great big ones that roll around on big, dollies and stuff. Or the guy had one hanging off his chest on like a bungee cord thing for stabilization. There were cameras everywhere. They had boom mics hanging over us and all of that. So it was a huge production. I'm not sure how they're going to put it all together. I think it's going to be like little segment videos that they're probably going to put out over time as they lead up to announcing the winner. And all of this will lead up to Hemi Day, which is 4/26. So April 26th is when I think it will all kind of culminate together. So we did the interrogation, and not all what I expected. I go up, the director says, hey, I'm not going to give you any instruction. You just open the door and go in when I say action, and then let what happens, happens. And I'm like, okay. So they say action, open the door, and they had set up a room like a set, and it looked like an old shop. Red light shining up the wall, some car parts on the wall, and there's Bill Goldberg sitting at a desk, a steel table, and he had on a dress shirt with a tie, but the sleeves were cut off. And there's a metal chair in front of him, and he kind of motions for me to sit down. I go in and sit, and he stares me down. And I'm not ever sure if we're acting or I'm just supposed to react off of him. I mean, I don't know. I'm not used to doing this kind of thing, so I just stared at him back, and it felt like it went on for like 2 minutes. I don't know how long they're gonna actually show it, when they do all the editing and everything, but it felt like we stared at each other for a really long time. And finally he says, so you want to be Chief Donut Maker? And I'm like, that's why I'm here. He asked me a couple of simple questions about paint codes. What is B5? And I said, well, it's blue. And then he asked me why I was qualified to be Chief Donut Maker, and I kind of talked about being into muscle cars since I was a little bitty kid watching Dukes of Hazzard. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. He shakes my hand, says, good job, kid, and I get out of here and I leave. Well, the other candidates went through it too, and they called us back into this after everybody was done, which took all day. Now we're like 7, 8 o'clock at night. They call us back into like this set room where they had Chief Donut Maker on the wall. There was a Hellcat sitting off to the side, and there's Katie Osborne, who was super great, by the way, and Bill Goldberg.
There can be only one Chief Donut Maker. If I call your name, please step forward. Abigail. Corey. Edgar. Pauline and Jamie. Ladies and gentlemen, if I have called your name, you have run out of gas.
And then it's an elimination. And I just wasn't ready for that. I knew, like in the rules, it said you would be, they'd go from 10 down to 5 and 5 down to 2 and then 2 down to 1 would be the winner. But I just really wasn't ready for it to happen right then that quickly in the first day. We had all spent about 16 hours together and had become pretty good friends. And if you think about it, how long does it take to spend 16 hours with someone that you're getting to know? Usually it's an hour at a time, maybe once or twice a week. So you're talking about 8 to 16 weeks. And by then you're pretty good friends with the person. Well, for us, it happened all in one day. And so I felt like I was pretty good friends with all these people. And I didn't want to see any of them go home. And so they start to call names. And he says, if I call your name, step forward. Well, they called 5 names and mine wasn't one of them. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm out the first day. I must not have done as well as I thought I did. And then he says, if I called your name, your road ends here. Thanks for playing. There's the door. And I was a little shaken by it, to be honest, when we saw that. And he said, say your goodbyes. And of course, we hugged each other and said good luck and all of that. And then they were taken off set and literally put in vans and they were gone. That was it. And then they came in and said, hey, now you're 5 of 175,000 entries. And they kind of wanted us to be excited about it, but it was so hard to be excited because I was kind of devastated that 5 people just went home that quick. So we finally got through all of that. That was day 1. I don't want these videos to get too long, so I'm probably going to stop there, and I'll pick up and do a second entry or second installment for this for day 2 to talk about how that went. And it got more and more interesting as the days progressed. So you definitely want to go stick around for that. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you did. Check us out on Instagram. It's at Speedy's_garage, as well as the website www.speedysgarage.net, and hopefully I will see you out there.